Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joe Stunner Boxing. Japan has 4 world bantamweight champions. They hold all 4 belts. And one of them, Junto Nakatani, the WBC champion, he's kind of, in a lot of people's eyes, the best. Obviously, it's open to debate, but this guy is a 3-weight world titleist. He's held the WBO flyweight title, super flyweight title, and now he's on the WBC bantamweight title. And he defended it against a Thai boxer called PETCH SOR CHITPATTANA. I've probably mispronounced that name. Chitpattana, I think, is the surname. This guy goes by other names as well. I looked on BoxRec earlier, and his name on BoxRec is listed as Tasana Salapat. So don't ask me what his real name is, because I honestly don't know. But he was stopped in the 6th round, with only a second left in the 6th round, by Junto Nakatani. Unbelievably, Mr. Salapat, or Chitpattana, or whatever his name is, came in with a record of 76 wins, 53 KOs, 1 defeat, which was on points, and no draws. He's 30 years old, like I say, he's from Thailand. Like Nakatani, he is a southpaw. Who's he been fighting to have a record like that? 76 and 1? No one. If you look down his record, he's been fighting absolute non-entities, journeymen, people with no wins. I like the smaller weight fighters. I follow the smaller weights, and almost all of these fighters, I'm struggling to find one that I'd even heard of, never mind seen. And I don't even recall seeing Mr. Chitpatana, Chipolata, whatever his name is. Like I say, he's 30 years old. He's got this massively inflated record, and Junto Nakatani is the polar opposite. He has a very good record. He moved with this knockout to 29 wins with 22 KOs, no draws and no defeats. He was last seen blasting out Vincent Astrolabio in 1 round. That was only a few months ago. I think it was in July. He stopped Alexandro Santiago. All of these fights, by the way, are in Japan. He stopped him in 6 rounds. RG Cortez, at least he lasted the distance. I think that was the last defense of his super flyweight, WBO superfly title. The Santiago fight was, in fact, that was this year as well. That was early, I think, January or February this year. So he's a busy boy, and he picked up the vacant bantamweight belt with the Santiago win. So this would be his second defence. He also is perhaps well remembered, also especially if you're from Australia, because he had that fantastic knockout of Andrew Maloney. I mean, look, Nakatani is a terrific fighter, and he really didn't get out of second gear, not really, against Chitpatana. PETCH SOR CHITPATTANA. You know what it is. He didn't get out of second gear with this geezer anyway, because, like I say, both were southpaws, and Chitpatana, or Salapat, whatever his name is, he apparently, according to the commentators, is an aggressive fighter. He looked it from his style, although, again, I haven't seen him before. I don't think I've ever seen him before. But yeah, he had that sort of crouching style. But clearly there was a gulf in class. Clearly there was a gulf in technique, in schooling. I mean, Nakatani, I think he's about 5'8", so he's quite tall for the weight, or, a decent size for the weight. And he's got that sort of wiry power. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of his backhands are... They're sort of like whiplash punches. They sort of crack on the opponent. It's that type of power, not as opposed to that sort of thudding power that you can get. Tremendous stuff from Nakatani. Very good technique. He's kind of upright. For the first 4 rounds of this fight, I mean, I think he shut out, Chitpatana. I don't think Chitpatana got anywhere near him. But Nakatani, like I say, was just in first gear. He's, using the jab and, the odd backhand here and there. But after 4 rounds, it was time to go to work. And how he went to work, because they started to exchange. And in actual fact, I think in the 5th round, Chitpattanna had his best, probably his best round of the fight. If you were going to give him a round, it would be that one. It'd be the only one. But he was definitely, burrowing forward, landing his own punches. But Nakatani was never really perturbed. It was really a case of kind of kicking him into gear, really, by becoming more aggressive. You were saying to Nakatani, okay, you can move up a couple of gears now. And Nakatani was like, well, if you like. Started to thread those, very fast backhands. I mean, see Nakatani's jab, I wouldn't say it's a battering ram jab, but it's very stiff. Because I was at points I was thinking, why doesn't he double up on the jab? Because the guy's coming forward. The guy's not really, he was moving a little bit, I suppose, but he was certainly stepping in and overreaching. Chitpattanna was, and I thought maybe Nakatani can bang with the double jab him, but who might have second guessed Nakatani? He was quite content to land one stiff jab and then fire the backhand. And they were exchanging in the fifth round. It was a good bit of action in the fifth round, actually. The first 4 rounds were kind of a bit dull, but in the fifth round things were warming up, and you thought, okay, we got a fight in our hands. But it didn't last. It didn't last because Mr. Chitpattanna, he got tagged about, what was it now, maybe 2 minutes into the round, a little bit less maybe. Down he goes. I believe that's the first time he's been on the floor in his whole career. So he really wasn't, he hasn't been facing anyone for this bloated record of his. Down he goes. It was it a backhand? I know the finishing punch was definitely a backhand for the second knockdown. I can't remember the first one. There was a right hook in there, if memory serves. But it was definitely a combination from Nakatani that put Chitpattanna on the floor for the first time. And then when he got up, he kind of got up looking pretty ragged, actually. He just about made it. I think he got up about 9. And Lawrence Cole, the ref, said, sidestep, show us some movement, no problem. He went back into the fire. And Nakatani was just, waiting for an opportunity, boxing well, very patient. Nakatani's got excellent patience, I'll say that for him. And then when he saw the opportunity, there was a four-punch combination. The coup de grace was the right hand. No, it was a backhand. So it was a left hand backhand that cracked on Chitpattanna's side of his head. Down he goes, falls to the floor, and Lawrence Cole, the ref, stops the fight. Didn't even bother with the count, or he may have started the count, but he waved it off. No problem. I haven't got a problem with that stoppage at all. This was clearly a guy who, despite his ridiculously padded record, was way, way, way out of his depth against Nakatani. And Nakatani moves on. Now, this was, it was a good performance, decent performance. But, again, I don't think he really got out of second gear. I don't think he really needed to. And if you compare this fight to the one that we had yesterday, which was one of the ones yesterday, which was Saya Sasumi against Takuma Inoue. What an incredible fight that was! That was one of the best fights of the year. You can make an argument for it being the best fight of the year. Terrific. Maybe a bit one-sided to be the best of the year, but the action was unbelievable. Now, of course, you have 4 Japanese bantamweight champions. Sasume took over from Inoue. They were hoping, I think, that Takuma Inoue would win, and then they could put him in with Nakatani. But Sasume against Nakatani, would anyone, say no to that? Of course you wouldn't. That's a terrific matchup. So I'm looking forward to that. It'd be interesting to see how they play this sort of, this little mini tournament. If they do get a little mini tournament to unify the belts under, the land of the rising sun. The Japanese boxing's flying. It really is. It's fantastic. I love it. And this wasn't a particularly entertaining fight, but the finish and the skills of Nakatani are just sight to behold. They really, really are. They are producing some great, great fighters. Japanese at the moment. It's an absolute renaissance in Japanese boxing. So go and have a look. It's on Sky Sports Boxing's YouTube channel. If you've seen it, you want to leave a comment, please do. I'm always interested to read your comments. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, you could subscribe. That would be great. If you could leave a like, that would be even better. Thank you very much. Cost you nothing. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Thank you. Right. I'll catch you later. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and bye for now.